What's up, YouTube? Timu's here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10 and 20 this way. Alright, the films turning 10, we of course got the first Pitch Perfect, which of course was the first installment of the Pitch Perfect franchise, which ended up getting like two more films. We even got a TV show coming this year as well with Out of the Vine, which I'm actually really interested in, by the way. And Pitch Perfect, of course, you have Anna Kendrick, who plays this college student who ends up joining this girl group here and up for a music and compete for a music competition here. You do got Rebel Wilson, who of course was Fat Amy, who I love Rebel Wilson in this role. I mean, this was actually the movie that I thought this movie was much better than it had any intention being. The music was really cool. Come on, the cup scene. Who did not love that scene? I mean, I perfect. And the sequels aren't bad either. So, if you guys have never really seen the first Pitch Perfect, I believe you can find it on Peacock now. Give it a go. I mean, will we ever get Pitch Perfect 4? Who knows? But until then, at least we got the series to keep us occupied. All right. Also turning 10, we got Taken 2. Now, this is of course the follow to the Liam Neeson Taken movies, and here you once again have Liam Neeson who plays retired CIA agent Brian Mills, who after 2 years, rescued his daughter kidnappers. Of course, since then, Kim has been learning self-defense from her father, and Brian has a personal mission to reunite with his ex-wife, played by Farmer Jensen. And this time he ends up crossing paths with the main villain's characters from the first film's father. And of course, this time around, Brian and his wife are getting taken. So, yeah, and also, I gotta say, as much as I didn't mind Taken 2, Maggie Grace should never held a grenade. I mean, that was the worst grenade throwing I've ever seen in movie history. I mean, yeah, I could have done without the whole grenade stuff. But Taken 2 obviously is very similar to the first film. Taken 2 and of course Taken 3 are nowhere near as good as the first Taken, but I really had a quite fun time with Taken 2. I had like the action was as good. Liam Neeson, come on, he always shows he has a particular set of skills. Liam Neeson is just the man in these type of films. So yeah, and of course, it's about 3 years after we would get Taken 3. So we haven't got another Taken since, but we've been having movies similar to Taken, honestly. So there's that. But man, Liam Neeson just never like he always shows that he still has particular skills, But anyway, we also got Frankenweenie, which is of course directed by Tim Burton, and it's based on the short, which is pretty much based on the Frankenstein story, where young Victor Frankenstein is a science nerd and is outsider, but his dog Sparky ends up tragically dying, and so he decides to really turn like find a way to pretty much get some help with his science teacher, voiced by Mark Landau, to give him an idea on how to jolt Sparky back to life. And the experiment is successful until Victor's fellow students steals his secrets and uses to resurrect animals here. I mean, I thought Frankenweenie is really cute, charming. It definitely is. It is actually partially in black and white, but Tim Burton. I mean, you could tell this is a Tim Burton film. Definitely has a bit of the Nightmare Before Christmas vibe. Definitely has the Edward Scissorhands vibe here. It is very wacky and very interesting. I mean, I love Tim Burton's work, so this is definitely one you should definitely check out. I mean, you also got some really good voices here. You also got Winona Ryder, you got Catherine O'Hara, some really cool voice talents popping up in this. All right. Now, some of the movies that turns 10 are more small affairs. One of which we, of course, got the first VHS movie, which has been directed by folks like Ty West, Adam Wingard. We, of course, got the new VHS movie coming out this month. And it's, where like these four thugs who make money putting their violent antics online are hired to steal VHS tapes from a spooky old house. And however, things take a turn for the worse when they find that Pesner and dozen more tapes. The first VHS movie is really true. It is, of course, an anthology story. The anthology stories are really. The sequels aren't as bad either, but man, the first VHS is very gory, very interesting to check out. All right. We also got a movie called Butter, which stars folks like Jennifer Garner, Hugh Jackman, Yara Shahid, and you also have Ty Burrell. And it's pretty much about folks competing for a butter competition. Really fun little film right there, if you guys ever seen that. We also got Lee Daniels' movie, The Paperboy, which takes place in 1969's Florida, where reporter Ward Jensen, played by Matthew McConaughey, returns to his hometown to write a story about the death row inmate Hillary Van Wetter, played by John Cusack, who was convicted of murdering this racist lawman. And Ward hires his younger brother Jack, played by Zac Efron, as a driver, and together with his partner Yardley, played by David Oyelowo, gets to work. And Ward and Yardley unwisely trust a vixen, played by Nicole Kidman, who will do nothing to set the convict free here. This movie is, for one, directed by Lee Daniels, who was coming off of the film Precious. If you want to see a movie where, I kid you not, where Nicole Kidman just pees on Zac Efron to get like a sting, I think it was a bee sting or something sting. I can't remember what the sting it was. If you want to see where Nicole Kidman just pees on Zac Efron, this is one for you. That is one of those. That is one of the most honest movies scenes you've ever seen in movie history. But that's what happens in this film. But hey, Zac Efron, I think is really terrific. This Matthew McConaughey is great. This was around the time where Matthew McConaughey was really bringing back his was pretty much trying to set for the reconnaissance like a year before he won his Oscar. And he did stuff like this, Magic Mike. He also did Killer Joe the same year too. So yeah, Matthew McConaughey really showed that he was not that romantic guy anymore. Like he really shows that he does still have acting skills, and he's one of them. So definitely give this one a go if you guys have seen that. All right. Also, now turning 20, we got the Hannibal Lecter movie Red Dragon. Now this is of course was a fall, pretty much like a fall, if you will, of Silence of the Lambs, and I believe Hannibal came out like a year prior. I can't remember if it was before or after, but of course there was the Hannibal movie as well. You had Anthony Hopkins once again as Hannibal Lecter. You had Ed Norton, Ray Fiennes, Harvey Keitel, Phil Seymour Hoffman. Now, this is nowhere near as good as Silence of the Lambs, but it is a really intriguing crime-based story here, where like Ed Norton plays Will Granham, who is an expert investigator who quit the bureau almost like after almost losing his life in the process of capturing Dr. Lecter, once again played by Hopkins, and after like a series of particularly grisly murders, Graham students realized the best way to catch this killer, known as the Chief Ray, is to find a way to get inside the killer's mind here. And so, yeah, I mean, Red Dragon was also directed by Brett Ratner, who, of course, is best known for directing the Rush Hour movies. He also did Tower Heights. He's done some really cool movies over the years. And, yeah, Red Dragon, while nowhere near as good as Silence of the Lambs, was a really cool follow-up. So definitely give this one a go if you guys haven't seen that. All right, also turning 20, we got Welcome to Collinwood, which stars a cast that includes George Clooney, Sam Rockwell, William H. Mason, Michael Jeter, Gabrielle Union. And this movie was directed by the Russo brothers, who would later go on to direct, the Captain America movies, the last two, the last two Avengers films, and then obviously stuff like Community they've been a part of. Now, if you guys don't know much about this story, it's where like these five hapless misfits from the hard luck streets of Cleveland band together to try and pull off the greatest job they've ever heard of. And opportunities like this don't really come along every day for the hard luck folks who hang around the streets of Collinwood. And so, like this a working class neighborhood on Cleveland's east side, and when the plan goes awry, this army of centuries find themselves, getting more than they lose here. It is a really fun heist-based film. The cast, I think, is terrific. I believe this was the Russo brothers' first feature, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but not a bad film. Really fun, entertaining comedy if you guys haven't seen that. All right, last but not least, turning 20 for aim fans of the Veggietales, we got Jonah, a Veggietales movie, where where the pirates who don't really do anything tell the Veggie family the story of Jonah, asparagus who makes his way across desert and seas to deliver a message from God. Now, I was never, even as a kid, I was never really big with the Veggietales, but I know that they do have their fans and stuff. And I was not really into this film, to be honest. I did remember watching it one time as a kid, but yeah, I was not really too big of it. I mean, I know this movie does have its fans, but I just never really, it was never really keen on to me. So, yeah, but that's pretty much all to talk about here. Let me lead you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? The 10-year one, I'm going to go with Pitch Perfect. And the 20-year one, I'm going to go with Red Dragon, because that's probably possible. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon Saga.